The following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
Get him on, get him over, and hopefully get him in. That approach goes back to the beginning of the game. And the Royals have mastered the first, improved the second, and working hard on the third. Game 3 with the White Sox is next on Fox Sports Kansas City. Zach Greinke gets the ball for the Royals tonight at Kauffman Stadium, coming off 3 very good starts. A win for him tonight means a winning series for the Royals against the Chicago White Sox. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. I'm Ryan Lefevre with Royals Hall of Famer Paul Splittorff, and the Royals and White Sox have split the first 2 games. The Royals winning Game 1 3-1, but 3 runs last night wasn't enough, and the Royals have been at or near the top in hitting all season long, but all everyone wants to talk about is that the Royals are just 8th in the league in runs scored.
And that's a big-time improvement over what we've seen in the last few years. So let's see what has gone on over the last few weeks and what the Royals have done offensively. Everybody up and down their lineup seems to have the ability right now to be able to get on base. Everybody seems to be making pretty good contact and not drawing many walks. But you see what's happened over the last 3 weeks really mirrors exactly what has gone on all year. Up near the top of the league in batting average, doing well with runners on in scoring position, runs per game. I mean, right in the middle of the league. Now, they are a little light in the extra base hit and the home run. But let's think back to where they've been the last 5 years. They've ranked 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th up and down the board. I'm really happy with the improvement.
And trying to get some more punch in that lineup, more extra base hits. Wilson Betemit is getting some playing time.
You know, they brought him up before interleague play because of his ability to bounce around and play some other positions and maybe give them a little jolt with the bat. Well, he's done all that, and we'll find him at third base here tonight.
With all that being said, I don't know if you want to pin your hopes on a big offensive game tonight from either team, because we have a great pitching matchup with Zach Greinke, who has won a Cy Young, against Jake Peavy, who has won a Cy Young. And we'll talk more about pitching right after this. Or visit kia.com. And by Kellogg's, the best to you each morning. Pitching matchup tonight of two guys who were very good but got off to slow starts and pitching well now.
Well, Peavy had a mechanical problem early in the year, and he wasn't able to get much done, even though he's expected to maybe be the top guy for the Chicago White Sox. We know he's an outstanding arm, big-time competitor, but you see what he's done his last 3 times out, and you see what Zach has done. And when you see that, you're saying we're going to have a heck of a ball game here tonight.
Zach's had some trouble in his career against the White Sox. Here's the Kia report for tonight.
Well, he knows them well, and they know him well, although it's his first time out against them this year. But look to stay on track what he's done here this month. And 7 innings or more his last 3 times out. I think you look more of that from him here tonight. This is a comfortable night in Kansas City.
Here's the White Sox lineup tonight, presented by M&I Bank, and the White Sox have only scored 5 runs so far in the series. Omar Vizquel, who made a great defensive play to save the game for Chicago last night, he'll be at shortstop and bat second, so no Alexi Ramirez, and Diane Viciedo will be back at third base tonight. He had some great swings for the White Sox in his first game against the Royals. Jake Peavy is 2-0 against the Royals so far this year. And one of the Royals that will be leaned on tonight is Scott Pasednik, who hits .375 against Jake Peavy. We'll see what happens. The first pitch is next. Cable, where HD is free with digital cable. And it is another gorgeous night. So this weather adds some spirit to the game for not only the players but the fans. And a great night to be outside in the deciding game of the series, with the Royals winning 3-1 on Monday and the White Sox holding off the Royals last night, winning 4-3. At one point, Chicago had a 4-0 lead, a game that Ozzie Guillen watched most of from the clubhouse after being ejected in the 4th inning. And he's done very well against the Royals with a career record of 30 games above 500. And his White Sox come in tonight a game and a half back of first place Minnesota in the Central Division, and 1 game back of second place Detroit. Zach Greinke is facing the White Sox for the first time this year. He was 2-2 last year, winning the Cy Young, but in his career against the White Sox, he is just 5-10.
He had 5 starts against the Sox a year ago, Ryan, and they battled him hard. I remember a ball game, especially here in Kansas City. He got into the late innings. He had good command, just on the plate, just off the plate. They had a good report on him. It was one of the tougher battles that he had all year.
So we're ready to go with Juan Pierre, Omar Vizquel, and Alex Rios coming up in the top of the first inning. And once again, Billy Butler, if anybody is on first, he's going to have to fight that little patch of sunlight around first base. He will play in with Juan Pierre up there. Wilson Betemit is in at third. And Pierre takes a fastball for a strike. Juan Pierre has not scored a run yet in the series. On base 4 times. He has driven in a run. And the league's leading stolen base man has been thrown out by Jason Kendall. 2 pitches, and he is out in the top of the first inning. Out in right field is Joel Goldberg. Hi, Joel.
Hey, Ryan, we were talking on the pregame show with Monty about this matchup tonight, and he said it reminded him of 1991 when Brett Saberhagen took on Nolan Ryan, and you thought, boy, this is going to be a great pitcher's duel, and it was. Both pitchers went 7 innings, each gave up 2 runs, but by the end of it, it ended up going 18 innings in the game, 14 pitchers. Monty threw 4 innings. Mike Boddicker got the win in the 18th. 4-3, 6 hours and 28 minutes. George Brett went 4 for 6 in the game. Kevin Seitzer went 2 for 6. Neither, though, had an RBI. So a great game between 2 great pitchers. And I don't know, 1991, Split was probably doing that game. Any memories of how that one ended, Split?
Well, Joel, I was not doing the ball game, but I was in the ballpark. I wanted to come and see, as I thought one of those guys is probably going to throw a no-hitter. I waited until both teams had a base hit. I left in the 7th inning. Figured I'd go home and get something done. I cut the grass, I fired up the grill, I ate dinner, took a nap, and woke up as the game was getting over. I had a full day after I left the ballpark.
Chris Getz goes out from second base and runs down the pop-up from Omar Vizquel. 2 up, 2 down in the first inning. It is absolutely perfect at the ballpark. 82 degrees with low humidity. That wind is blowing from right to left. We started right on time at 7:10. Time and Temp brought to you by the parking spot. Easy to spot, easy to park. The parking spot at KCI.
When ball game goes 18 innings, when do they stop selling beer in the ballpark? They still go 7th inning?
I think they did that back in those days. 1 ball, 1 strike on Alex Rios. That's kind of a new concept, isn't it? The last 10 or 15 years.
Fortunately, that was a day game. Although probably a getaway day for the visitors.
1-2 on Rios, who has 1 hit and a walk in the first 2 games. So the Royals have quieted him. A 300 hitter with 13 home runs and 40 driven in. And when he gets on base, he has stolen 21. 2 balls, 2 strikes. On Friday against the Cardinals, first game of this homestand, Zach took a shutout into the 9th inning. Gave up a couple of runs in the 9th, but won his 3rd of the year.
Looks like things finally starting to come together for Zach. You think about him, he had 1 win coming into the month of June. He wasn't as good early this year as he was a year ago, but still good enough to get more than 1 win in 2 months.
Hard slider down and away. Tim Cheetah first shakes his head and says no swing. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Royals gave Zach some run support early on Friday against the Cardinals, giving him 3 runs in the 3rd. This time the slider is cut on and missed, and down go the White Sox in order to begin the game. Inning. It is presented by M&I Bank. Wilson Betemeat will be at third base. He can bat left-handed, being a switch hitter. Alberto Callaspo, switch hitter, is the DH. Mitch Meyer, a left-hand batter, is in center field. And Chris Getz, a left-hand batter, is at second base, facing right-hander Jake Peavy. And the Royals facing him for the third time this year. Peavy has won his first 2 starts against the Royals. And Posednik jumps on the first pitch, but Rios runs it down. And there is one away. Here's the key report on Jake Peavy.
Well, 29-year-old right-hander comes in here with a little bit of a winning streak, and 21 consecutive scoreless innings. 4-pitch guy, all of them well above average, all of them with command. Big-time competitor. In fact, if things don't go well, you'll see him yelling out on the mound, usually to himself. Former Cy Young Award winner in 07 with San Diego. I picked him up mid-season last year. He was hurt at the time. Didn't get back with their ball club until mid-September.
One ball, one strike to Jason Kendall. Jason with the most experience of all the Royals in the lineup tonight against Peavy, with 22 at-bats, but only 4 hits. That ball's hit pretty good to left center field. And Juan Pierre on the edge of the shadows brings it down. So 2 fly ball outs. And we'll take a look at the White Sox defensively. Juan Pierre in left, Alex Rios in center, Carlos Quinn in right, Diane Viciendo at third, Omar Vizquel in his 11 Gold Gloves at short, with Gordon Beckham and Paul Konerko on the right side, and A.J. Pierzynski behind the plate. So 2 down, and now Billy Butler. Billy is 3 out of 8 against Jake Peavy, and 2 of those hits are home runs. He has driven in 2 runs in this series. 2 balls and no strikes.
Breeze have been drifting in the first 2 games of the series. Now drifting out ever so slightly from the right field foul pole to left, so may help the hitters a little bit if they go from the left field bullpen to the foul pole in left. Other than that, that wind should not be a factor again tonight.
Three balls and 1 strike. Just like Zach Greinke, Jake Peavy is coming off a very good start. On Friday, he beat the Cubs with 7 shutout innings and only allowed 3 hits. So both teams were playing their interleague rival. Zach Greinke beating the Cardinals. This is what Jake Peavy did to the Cubs. And the White Sox ended up winning that game 6-0. They won the next day, and then that was the final win of their 11-game winning streak. And Billy jolts it into deep left center field. Back goes Rios. It is gone. And splash into the water. So make it 4 career hits for Billy Butler against Jake Peavy, and now 3 home runs.
Ryan, all 3 of the Royals hitters tonight to open this ballgame have gotten good hats against Peavy. And that's a bit of a surprise, but how about this? A fastball middle, and he jumped all over it. Talk about a clear, ringing sound. Where'd that ball go? About 420 feet? Peavy gives up his 13th home run of the year.
One ball, 1 strike on Jose Guillen. Home run number 8, RBI number 41. Good call, split 422 feet.
Too much club.
How about that? That's pretty good. You only missed it by 2 feet.
You give up enough of them, you got a pretty good feel for it.
You've seen that ball land there before, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Allen wasn't responsible for that, was he? past a diving Omar Vizquel. So the Royals have done it again. 2 outs, nobody on. They have scored a run on the Butler home run. And now Guillen follows with a single.
Guillen once again back out in right field, so he's comfortable in this role. This is what he wanted to do from the beginning of the year. He did not want to be locked in as a designated hitter. The Royals cautious with him early, but getting regular time in right field and in the heart of the order here tonight. Nice going. You went 11 minutes of this ball game before you mentioned that name.
Is that a season high?
Might be.
Peavy throws a strike to Wilson Betemit, who had 2 hits last night. Another extra base hit, his 4th double of the year. So Betemit is 12 out of 25. That's .480. And 7 of the 12 hits are extra base hits. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That double in the 5th inning last night was big, but how about that leadoff base hit in the 9th? That sets the Royals up in pretty good shape. Now they pinch ran for him. Didn't move the runner along, but he gave them the opportunity.
Just missed the corner.
Peavy has an idea how to pitch just on or just off the plate.
That's his trademark pitch, the hard slider. So in some regards, similar to Zach Greinke. He may not have the overall velocity that Zach has, but his out pitch is the slider. Trying to throw it down and in to Betemit. Guillen over at first with 2 down. And Jose has a very short lead over there.
The thing about Peavy is he has the reputation as a high pitch count guy. So ideally the Royals can go to the plate, battle him hard here tonight, run up that pitch total a little bit, and maybe get him out early.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Loves to pitch away, loves to try to keep the ball down. Maybe a generous zone here tonight.
And it's good to see Alfonso Marquez back. A couple of games ago, remember, he had to leave after just a few innings because he was battling the heat exhaustion. Inside, ball 4 to Betemit. So at 2 outs, nobody on, a home run, a single, and now a walk. And 2 on for Alberto Callaspo. The umpiring crew finished the game with just a 3-man crew, and then Dan Bellino was called up from the minor leagues to umpire last night. But Alfonso Marquez, after getting a game and a half off, feels strong enough to get back behind the plate. And he is typically a good pitcher's umpire. He will stretch the zone. Alberto Callaspo, 1 hit, 2 walks in the first 2 games. He has Guillen at second base, Betemit at first. Took a little off the fastball, and it's 0-1. No balls, 2 strikes. There was some drama involved with Jake Peavy coming to the White Sox last year, and you talked about that deal split, but originally he turned down a trade. He had a no trade clause in his contract. That was May of last year. Then he went on the disabled list with an ankle injury, and when he came back, the Padres were going nowhere, and he accepted a second trade. And the big name that went from Chicago over to the Padres was left-hand pitcher Clayton Richard, whom the Royals saw a couple of times with the Sox. So at first, he wasn't interested in coming to Chicago. Then second time around, he said okay.
He was happy in San Diego. He makes his home there, so family has kind of set some roots there. And everybody thought the deal was dead after that. Red Sox picked up a lot of salary with him, and also Rios, their center fielder. That was a surprise deal when they got him on waivers.
Toronto Blue Jays had signed Alex Rios to a 7-year contract, and then in the second year of that, it appeared that his skills had tailed off. So Split said they ran him through waivers, and not only did the White Sox claim him, but they assumed $60 million of his contract.
And Peavy is signed up through 2012.
Off the plate, and Callaspo is still alive.
Alberto continues to make the solid contact. He's hit in 9 of his last 11 ball games, but the extra base hits have gone away a little bit. We spent a little bit of time this season talking about him being a doubles machine, but just 2 extra base hits here in the month of June.
Still no balls, 2 strikes. Callaspo took a strike, and now he's fouled off 5 in a row. So there's that pitch count that Split was talking about, and Peavy has given up a run in the bottom of the first inning, and he has thrown 27 pitches. And that's hit well to right field. Quinton is there and makes the play. So the Royals get 1 run. They strand 2. The 3 outs were hit hard, but not hit harder than Billy Butler's drive to left center field to give the Royals a 1-0 lead. Good start for the Royals tonight on a beautiful night in Kansas City. Zach Greinke taking the mound for the first time this year against Chicago. Faces 3, retires 3, and then takes a seat and admires Billy Butler's home run against Jake Peavy. Billy's 3rd career home run against Peavy. And the Royals now with a 1-0 lead with Paul Konerko, Carlos Quinton, and Mark Kotsay coming up in the second. Konerko's having a great year, but he has not added to his numbers against the Royals. He is 2 out of 30 in now 3 series against KC. And in this series, he is 1 out of 8 with 5 strikeouts. And he's down no balls, 2 strikes against Zach.
You really feel like he's having a hard time at the plate because he's behind the fastball and ahead of the breaking ball. Spot any hitter just hates to be in. You really need to be on one of those, but he's caught in between on both of them right now.
One ball, 2 strikes. Konerko with bad numbers against the Royals this year, and they aren't much better in his career against Zach. But the last two nights, Konerko has gone up against pitchers who have given him a hard time. Bannister last night, Greinke tonight, and Zach gets him on a routine fly ball to right field. We hope you'll go to FoxSportsKansasCity.com to see our analysts break down Anthony LaRue's mechanics. Simply click on the video tab at the top of the screen to see what allowed Anthony to pick up his first major league win.
I think he's going to be a clubhouse favorite, isn't he?
Great personality. And an easy guy to root for, coming back from the Tommy John surgery and was out of the big leagues for more than 2 years, returning last year and getting his first big league win on this homestand. Two balls and no strikes to Carlos Quentin, who hit his 13th home run in the White Sox loss on Monday. He has been hit by a pitch and walked twice in the series and has 2 hits. And a hard ground ball hit over to Bedamit. And Zach has retired the first 5.
Russ got a good long look at Bedamit at third base when they were in Arizona in spring training. Alex Gordon got hurt early in camp, and they ran Cayaspo through there, Bedamit, Bloomquist, and taking a look. Didn't know what they were going to do early on, but they were impressed with him, even though he didn't break camp with the big league club. He could play about anywhere in the infield. Big guy, about 220 pounds, but he came up as a shortstop in the Dodger organization. Doesn't look like a shortstop now, but he was back then.
1 ball, 1 strike on KCA. Couple of doubles last night, couple of bloop doubles. And Brian Bannister giving up 4 runs, 8 hits in 4 innings last night, but it was hardly batting practice for the White Sox. A lot of well-placed hits and bloop hits, but enough to run up his pitch count and knock him out after 4 innings. Foul off to the third base side, and it's 2-2.
I was talking to Ned Yost before the game tonight, and talking about a couple of years ago when Zach was getting ready to pitch against the Tigers, and the night before Trey Hillman kind of ran through the bullpen. Everybody asking Leland about that, and he says, who cares? They got Greinke going tomorrow. They won't need that pen for 48 hours. And Ned was saying, I thought about that with Zach going tonight, the way he's throwing the ball. Day off tomorrow, he might not need much of that pen for 72 hours. So managers not only manage for today, but they look at tomorrow and what the next day might bring as well. Everybody kind of laughed at Leland. I was shocked. He said, they won't need that pen for 48 hours. Of course, the way Zach was throwing, he was right.
He gets a ground ball to Chris Getz. And with a 1-0 lead, Zach has pitched 2 perfect innings. Nice split. Royals baseball is brought to you by Thoroughbred Ford. They keep winning the President's Award because they keep satisfying their customers. Thoroughbred Ford. The other side of the Royals Hall of Fame out in left field at Kauffman Stadium. A must-see when you come out to the ballpark. Just make sure you give yourself a little extra time because there is a lot to see. After shattering Mitch Meyer's bat, Jake Peavy runs to the bag and gets a toss from Konerko for the first out in the second inning. You call it, presented by Sprint. Ask you, what will be Zach Greinke's best pitch tonight? Text 432-432. The keyword is Royals. A space, A for fastball, B for curve, C for changeup, and D for slider. So go ahead and vote, and then Split will give us his evaluation at the end of Zach's outing.
Most nights it's either the fastball or the slider, but I'll tell you, the curveball he threw to Rios in the first inning, got it over, looked awful good. That might be a pitch that he might go to a little bit more often tonight.
0-2 on Yuniesky Betancourt. 2 hits, 1 run scored in the first 2 games. Batting at .259. One ball, 2 strikes. Royals run in the bottom of the first inning. After 2 outs and nobody on, Billy Butler homered. A.J. Pierzynski, he may have aided in that call by first base umpire Tim Cheetah as he came jumping out of his crouch and was ready to throw the ball down to third base. And then the appeal, and then the called swing. Let's check the location on Fox Tracks, brought to you by Chevy.
That's one of the things the catcher wants to do, is help sell it. Like you really believe that that ball is well out of the zone. Looks like Betancourt did go after it, kind of put his head down. He might have helped sell that as well.
First strikeout for Peavy. And 2 down, nobody on for the former White Sox second baseman, Chris Getz. He appears in this series for the first time. And hits it hard through the right side. Well, the Royals with 2 outs and nobody on in the first scored a run, and now with 2 outs and nobody on in the second, have a base hit.
Gets the opening day second base and now relegated to backup duty, coming off the bench. When he has gotten in there, he has played well. Solid base hit to right field right there. Now on base 8 of his last 9 times. He's gotten an opportunity to start. Continues to play well.
Running situation for the Royals. And Getz stays put as Posednik takes ball 1. So the Royals with 3 hits against Peavy, but they also have 3 outs that were well struck, including Posednik, who jumped on the first pitch in the bottom of the first and lined to left. And then Kendall hit the ball hard to left field for a fly out. Alberto Callaspo had a pretty good swing on a fly out to right. So the Royals got their swings in the first inning. In this inning, Peavy has a broken bat ground ball and a strikeout.
Peavy's also one of those guys you really want to get to him early. You might not get him at all, and I think that's what the Royals saw out of him when they first saw him in Chicago back in mid-April. Maybe wobbled a little bit early in the ball game, but by the middle innings, he was about as tough as you can get.
Here in Kansas City, the Royals scored 3 runs against him in the first inning and looked like they were going to cruise to a victory. That was Peavy against Luke Hochshaver. And it was the second game that Ned Yost had as manager of the Royals. And Peavy turned it on after allowing 3 runs. And then we remember how it finished when Luke had 6 good innings. But Ned sent him back out there for the 7th. And then the White Sox got to him and eventually won the game. Getz runs, and Pierzynski's throw is high. And Getz goes sliding through Vizquel's legs for a stolen base.
Royals wanted Getz in the offseason for a couple of reasons. First of all, they wanted to improve the defensive play at second base. They wanted the left-handed bat. And they also wanted the speed that he could bring. Remember, coming out of camp, everybody said the defense is going to be better, going to have better base runners, guys who can maybe go steal a base, maybe go first to third a little bit better. Getz can do all of that.
Now 1-2 on Posednik. And he takes inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Ryan, you mentioned that Hochevar game against Beebe. You remember the meeting that he had with Ned Yost after the game. Maybe a big point in the season.
And a good lesson learned by Hochevar, who is now on the disabled list, but he is a big admirer of Jake Peavy. Now Posednik works a full count, 3-2. Chris Getz with a 2-out single, and he just stole second base. Line foul, look out. Over near the dugout suite on the first base side. And it says, beware of bats and balls. Leaving the field and leaving the field in a hurry. Curveball got him looking. Getz is stranded at second base, and the Royals have a 1-0 lead at the end of 2. Menu of hearty soups, salads, sandwiches, and breakfast items at Panera Bread. And by Chevrolet, come see for yourself why 1,000 people a day are switching to Chevy. 1-0 Royals on Billy Butler's first inning home run. Meanwhile, Zach Greinke has retired the first 6. A.J. Pierzynski leads off the third inning. He'll be followed by Diane Viciendo and Gordon Beckham. One ball, one strike. So far, in our sprint, you call it 41%. I think that Zach's best pitch tonight will be a slider.
That's going to get a lot of votes because normally the strikeout pitch is the slider. People see that and say, well, that's his best pitch.
Grounded off of Bedemead's glove and into left field. Pierzynski is already a .400 career hitter against Zach. And he becomes the White Sox first base runner.
Brzezinski seems to be a tough guy for Zach to go against. The first one was the ball inside that he ripped foul off the netting down by the dugout suite, and change up down the way, a little half swing the opposite way. Those two guys from Florida really get after each other, don't they?
It almost appears that Brzezinski plays with a chip on his shoulder when he goes up against Zach, maybe even more so than normal. And it has worked for him as KCA gets one up around the chin.
We were both impressed with this guy last night, but this will keep him a little bit honest. He went out and got a pitch on the outside part of the plate last night. Just blistered one down at Billy.
Now grounded is short. The Royals will get an out at second base, and they will get a double play.
Ball sharply hit. You always wonder when the shortstop has to go in the hole to make the play, but Betancourt quick, gets even quicker. And they turn it over short to second to first.
So 2 outs, nobody on, and Gordon Beckham takes down and away. Beckham began the series batting .204 and was 0 for 3 on Monday night, and then had a couple of hits and a walk last night, driving in one of the 4 runs.
Red Sox haven't lost any confidence in him at all. Keep him in the lineup every day, even though he's had a hard first half of the season. They think he's just getting very close to putting things together. They can protect him a little bit down in the bottom part of their order. Has some hot guys up in the middle. Spent most of the early part of the year as their number 2 hitter.
He has 2 out of 5 against Greinke with a home run. Chop to Betancourt. Throw is low. Butler handles it thanks to the double play. Zach faces only 3 in the 3rd. This is Antonio Holland, retiring this year following a 39 teaching career at Lincoln University, a historically black institution in Jefferson City, where he became a nationally recognized scholar and pioneer in the field of African American history. Also a Vietnam veteran who served with the Missouri National Guard for 25 years. And he's enjoying the game tonight in the Buck O'Neil Legacy seat. And enjoying a 1-0 Royals lead on Billy Butler's home run in the bottom of the 1st inning. Jason Kendall hit the ball hard and flied to left in the 1st. Jason has hit in 5 straight games. Batting at .265. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Royals really had a pretty good first round going against Peavy. They run that pitch count over 40 in the first 2 innings. It gets some men on base. Everybody gets a good long look. And you get the lead.
Off the end of the bat, Vizquel comes in, bare hands, which he does so well, and throws out Kendall. So 1 away, and now Billy Butler, and here's what he did in the first inning with 2 outs and nobody on. That had a pretty good sound to it.
Wow.
Tonight's league leaders brought to you by your Kansas City area Toyota dealers. Best slugging percentage, batting 3rd this year. As Billy goes after the first pitch and hits it high to center field. And Alex Rios is there to bring it down. So Billy Butler, who is batting 3rd now. David DeJesus has been the Royals' regular number 3 hitter. He gets the game off, and they are sandwiched in between David Ortiz and Josh Hamilton, who's one of the hottest things going right now in the American League.
And David Ortiz, that slow start that he had to the campaign is a distant memory right now. Red Sox in a little bit of trouble with Dustin Pedroia on the disabled list. He is the heart and soul of their ball club.
And they just lost Victor Martinez to the disabled list.
I don't think anybody's heard any worse than Philadelphia. They lost Utley and lost it to Polanco. Jimmy Rollins is getting close to getting back, but they have lost 3 of their infielders now.
Ian hits it right to Gordon Beckham. So a high pitch count in the first 2 innings, but Peavy needs only 9 to get through the 3rd. One to nothing Royals, and the way that Zach Greinke's going tonight, that might be enough. Tonight's Roadrunner Turbo Speed Pitch comparison has Zach at 98 in the first 3 innings. Jake Peavy is topped out at 94. Now fast is even faster. Double your speed with Roadrunner Turbo from Time Warner Cable. Zach has faced the minimum. He retired the first 6 and then allowed a base hit to A.J. Pierzynski in the 3rd, but he was wiped out on a double play from Viciedo and then a ground ball from Gordon Beckham. So the top of the order in the 4th, Juan Pierre slide out to left to open the game. Curveball in for strike 1. 1 strikeout for Zach. He got Alex Rios. Hold to Butler, and Billy gets a nice hop And he's to the bag for an easy out.
Well, that first pitch curveball, you think that to get a few more votes on the best pitch of the night, and certainly set up this fastball. Called strike on the curveball. Now you come with the fastball. Get a little ground ball to the right side.
Omar Vizquel chases one that's up and out of the strike zone. He popped out to second in the first inning. Back to his natural position after playing third base in game 1 of the series. And Vizquel shoots it into right center. This is going to be a long run for Guillen, and it's going to go by him and all the way to the wall. So Vizquel, with one out, is going to end up at third base with a stand-up triple.
Royals are not playing deep in their outfield against Vizquel. He's kind of a slap hitter right now, but occasionally can jump on one. Fastball right there. He plugs the gap and rolls it deep. And at 43 years old, he still has some wheels. Get out and run a little bit. Never even hesitated going around second. Royals so far in this series have held down their number 2 hitter pretty well. They were 1 for 8 coming into the game, now 2 for 10.
Royals will bring the infield in for Alex Rios, and he gets it through the left side. So with one out, a triple, a single, and just like that, we're tied at 1. A fan favorite is coming back, another Buck night here at Kauffman Stadium on Friday, July the 16th against the Oakland A's. Specials include hot dogs, small Pepsi products, peanuts, and Twinkies for just $1. Go to Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. So Alex Rios drives in his 41st, and that brings up Paul Konerko. Konerko flied out to right field in the second inning. So the numbers continue to drop for him against the Royals and against Zach Greinke. Against the Royals this year, Paul Konerko is 2 out of 31. And the fly out to right field makes Konerko 7 out of 52 against Zach Greinke. That's right around 130. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Still having a banner year in the final year of his contract. It was one of the names that was bandied about if the White Sox were going to clean house, but I don't think they're thinking that anymore. Probably thinking they're going to contend the rest of the year. Probably going to add players instead of moving people off the list.
Rios started to go and stopped, and the count is 2-1.
Got to keep an eye on him over at first base. 21 steals so far this year, is capable of doing that. With Ozzie Guillen wanting to go to that style of game, he would be a guy that they'd look on to move up 90 feet. Not just Juan Pierre capable of running with this White Sox team.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And we talked about it on Monday at the beginning of the series that the White Sox felt like Alex Rios, after getting the big contract in Toronto, tried to justify those numbers by way of the home run. But Ozzie Guillen challenged Rios by saying, I'd rather see you steal 40 bases than hit 40 home runs and get on base twice a game. Just try and get on base 2 times per game. Focus on the stolen bases over the home runs, and you're going to have a good year. And Rios is hitting about .310.
Now, Toronto's had a hard time in multi-year deals. Remember the one they gave Vernon Wells? And all of a sudden he went into a slump. He started to get hurt. Didn't look like it was going to be a good deal. Now he's playing well again. Pretty much the same thing happened to Rios. He tried to validate the contract. ended up going the wrong direction. Didn't do well at all.
A.J. Burnett, B.J. Ryan. Those are some of the recent long-term contracts that went up in flames. Vernon Wells starting to put it back together this year.
Toronto still leads the American League in home runs hit.
Now Rios runs, and Konerko with a weak swing just to stay alive. So 21 stolen bases so far. Rios' career high was in 2008. He had 32, so he has a chance to blow way past that this year. His career high in home runs is 24. So at this pace, and if he adds a few more home runs, he has a chance at a 30-30 season. At least 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases. And then all of a sudden, the White Sox inheriting that big contract from the Blue Jays looks like a good idea.
Good battle going on right now with Konerko and Greinke. Zach has busted him in on the hands a couple times. He's gotten the breaking ball away. Kind of broken down the timing of Konerko, but Konerko has found a way to hang in there. What is this, about 7 or 8 pitch at bat right now?
It is a 7-pitch at bat. The last 4 pitches being fouled off.
Might have been leaning. Sometimes the guy that will shorten his lead when he's going to steal a base figure, okay, I got a short lead, he won't throw over. Well, I got a short lead, I can get a better jump.
Another foul ball, long run for Guillen, but it'll bounce back into the seats. Don't forget, baseball's biggest stars go head-to-head for one spectacular night in the summer's biggest event, as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2010 Major League All-Star Game. And coverage begins Tuesday, July the 13th, live from Anaheim at 7 p.m. only on Fox. That's where the Royals are headed after an off day tomorrow. 3-game series in Anaheim, then to Seattle, and then we'll face the White Sox again in Chicago. A rare hit for Konerko against the Royals and against Greinke. So a long at bat, and on pitch number 9, gets just his second hit of the series.
Earned the base hit. Royals working both sides inside and out, but he got a ball finally in the middle of the plate where he was able to handle it, shoot it into left field. So that's 3 consecutive hits off Zach, the triple, and a pair of base hits. And now the hottest batter is coming up in Quentin.
He's got a nice, simple, short, smooth stroke, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does. Remember when he first came over in that trade from Cincinnati, everybody thought it was way too big and he might be out of the game in a couple of years, but he's made the adjustments that he needed to.
So Rios has driven in the run to tie the game. He's at second, Konerko at first. And Carlos Quentin digs in. Out on a hard ground ball to third in the second inning. Carlos Quentin coming to the White Sox from the Arizona Diamondbacks. And when he was in Arizona for a time, his hitting coach was Kevin Seitzer. And Kevin said last year that Carlos Quentin has as quick a hands as any hitter he's been around. That's saying quite a bit considering the teams he's played on. Royals teams with future Royals Hall of Famers. And of course a baseball Hall of Famer in George Brett. And then Kevin spent some time with the Cleveland Indians when they were bashing their way through the American League Central Division.
Kevin was an ideal number 2 hitter for that ball club. Quentin will have to have the quick hands because of the way he leans out over the plate. The American League Player of the Week last week for what he did at the plate.
Two out of 6 in this series, and one of those hits was a home run. Hit that against Anthony LaRue on Monday, and that was the only run that LaRue gave up in 6 innings, winning his first big league game. 2 balls and no strikes. Quinn originally was a first-round pick of the Diamondbacks and out of Stanford. And if there is a knock on Quinn, if you want to call it that, is that sometimes he will overanalyze the game and his swing. Known for his great preparation, but sometimes takes it too far. Rolls it to short, out at second base, and the Royals turn their second double play in the last 2 innings, but the White Sox tie it in the 4th. Joel Goldberg has spent a lot of time out in the Royals Hall of Fame, and he is out there right now. Joel.
Well, Ryan, I want to show you about the history of the glove. Pretty cool exhibit. It actually began with they weren't wearing any gloves, and then on down the line, they've got gloves here used by Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth and many more. And Royals fans can get a glimpse at the baseball treasures of Cooperstown right around the corner. The Royals Hall of Fame is proud to present Cooperstown Corner, featuring World Series artifacts on loan from the National Baseball Hall of Fame and an entire wall chronicling Cooperstown's strong Kansas City connection. Plus new exhibits tracing the history of the bat, glove, and ball, and the unique story of 3 father and son Royals, the McRaes, Wathans, and Bannisters, located in the outfield experience. The Royals Hall of Fame is open 7 days a week for tours and is free to all fans during every Royals game. Guys, let's go back upstairs to you.
All right, thank you, Joel. I noticed that red glove. Did you see that red glove mounted on the wall? Did you ever wear a colored glove?
No, I just went with the natural leather.
Okay.
I think the black glove got real popular about the time I got out with Saberhagen. A number of the guys had gone to that.
Brian Bannister wears a blue glove. Speaking of the Royals' father-sons. And there's a fan who brought his glove and made a nice play as a result. Black glove with some gray mixed in. Bedamit walked in the first inning. Now fouls it off the inside of his foot and goes hopping off the dirt.
That was a tight breaking ball thrown by Peavy right there. Guys love that. Get it in the hands and watch him pound it off his front foot. Get a lot of little pain. He will try to walk it off.
Not quite ready to get back in there. Billy Butler homered with 2 outs and nobody on in the first inning. Then a single, then a walk. And now Peavy has retired 7 of the last 8. 2 balls, 2 strikes. in the air to center field. That's going to hang up for Alex Rios. One away in the bottom of the 4th inning. So Bedemeat's in there. He's been swinging the bat well. Mitch Myers in the lineup. Chris Getz is in the lineup. And it might be a good opportunity for the Royals. It's been so tough, Jake Peavy has, on right-hand batters. So with the switch hitters, Bedemeat and Cayaspo, Meyer and Getz, Royals have 5 batters that hit from the left side.
Which you think David DeJesus is not in there. There would be another opportunity to add one, but as Jost was saying before the ball game, he's been in there every day for a month, and really need to give him a little bit of a break. And with the day off tomorrow, he gets 2 days off. Of course, that's for right now. He would be a guy you might not be surprised to see him in late. His managers say he has the day off for now.
But he is on call. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Alberto Cayaspo flied out to right field in the 1st inning. Alberto getting half the game off as the designated hitter, and the Royals getting a look at Wilson Bedemeat over at 3rd base. Two balls, 2 strikes. Peavy often mumbling and grumbling, if not yelling, to and at himself. And sometimes he has to make sure that the umpire doesn't think it's directed at him. We saw in the game that he pitched against the Royals in Chicago in early May, was yelling at himself early in the ball game, and at the same time he wasn't getting some calls on close pitches. And when the inning was over, he walked over to the home plate umpire just to make sure the umpire knew that he was yelling at himself. Tonight it's Alfonso Marquez behind the plate. Viciedo into foul ground, and Cayaspo pops out to 3rd, 2 away in the 4th inning. Peavy still just 29 years old and was drafted in the 15th round by the Padres out of high school. So good scouting there for an eventual Cy Young winner. And 3 years before he won the Cy Young, he won an ERA title in 2004. He was just 23 years old. And then in 2007, went 19-6 for the Padres and was the unanimous National League Cy Young winner. Out of Mobile, Alabama. 102 wins already, 29 years old. And he's done that with some less than good teams in San Diego.
But he appears to be on a good team right now, which means his pace of winning might pick up a little bit over the next 2 or 3 campaigns. He's had a little bit of a shoulder problem his last few times out. They've pushed him back a couple days, one time around the rotation. He's cut down on his bullpens in between starts, trying to stay ready for day number 5. That's what you have when you're a veteran. You'll find a way to work through those little aches and pains.
He strikes out his 3rd, and now he's retired 7 straight. That's exactly what we've gotten with Zach Greinke and Jake Peavy. And back in the middle of May, the Royals scored 3 runs early against Peavy. Tonight, they've gotten 1 run early, and now he's retired 11 of 12.
Yeah, and right now, Ryan, the problem is the Royals can't get men on base. They've had 4 in the ball game, but nobody's been able to get on base until there have been 2 outs in an inning. So maybe they can change here as you get into the middle innings.
Mark Kotze hits it down around the end of the bat. Sprinting in is Guillen, and it drops in front of him. That looked like a routine fly ball to right field, and Mark Kotze has been the master of the blue pit in this series.
Kotze has seen his playing time cut a little bit with the interleague playing. Going to the National League town, he's primarily a designated hitter for them right now. Where that play worked out at the end, it looked like maybe Getz had the best opportunity. Talking to Ned Yost before the game today and looking ahead to the second half of the year and Guillen possibly playing in right field. And he says the way he has gone so far, he'd be comfortable with him 4 or 5 days a week out there. Hoping those legs are going to hold up, but so far so good. There haven't been many of those dropped this year like there has been in the past.
Pierzynski trying to bunt his way on after a single in the 3rd inning. So the Royals getting to Peavy early, and now he's retired 11 of 12. On the other side, Zach retired the first 6. And now 5 of the last 9 have reached with a base hit. And that started with Pierzynski leading off the 3rd inning. The Royals have turned 2 double plays against Zach tonight. A couple of guys from the Orlando area. Pierzynski originally drafted by the Minnesota Twins. Made his big league debut with the Twins, traded to the Giants, signed with the White Sox.
He's happy to have the trade rumors put away.
Sliced up the line. Posednik is there. 1 out. Back to You Call It, presented by Sprint. We asked you what Zach's best pitch would be tonight. Still 43% saying the slider, followed by the fastball. And when Zach won the Cy Young last year, he was pitching his best games with fastball, slider, and then every now and then a lonely curveball or a changeup. But it seemed like when he got off to the slow start split that he was more, or at least trying to be more of a 4-pitch pitcher. And Viciendo flies out to center field, so Kotze still at first base.
Remember a year ago when he was in spring training, he threw a lot of straight changeup, was not having a good camp, and everybody was criticizing him, saying he's trying to be too fancy, not going with his stuff. He was just trying to develop a pitch and try to become a complete player. The thing with Zach, he has such good command of all 4 of them. You hang out at any one of those either side of the plate, have a chance to have a pretty good opportunity to get somebody out.
Gordon Beckham rolled to shortstop his first time up. Blocked by Kendall as he moves Beckham out of the batter's box. Kotze will hold at first base. Good pitch on the corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. He is moving the ball in and out and just missed inside on Beckham. 2-1. 5 wins, 10 losses for Zach in his career against the White Sox. This is his 23rd career game against Chicago. 95 miles an hour, and that evens the count at 2-2.
Well, the thing about Greinke is easy heat. Nice easy delivery right there. Snap at the end to put a little extra on it, but you really don't see it in his delivery. Timing is really good.
He's working all 4 corners. He's got 3 of the 4 down. Got him to chase the slider. It's just his 2nd strikeout. Zach has given up 1 run in 5 innings. Have an RBI single from Alex Rios. Here's tonight's AT trivia question. Who are the 2 players with the most career base hits against Zach Greinke? That is pulled off of Vicieto's glove. He can't find it. And Betancourt is safe at first with an infield single.
Betancourt loves to swing the bat early in the count. If he can get something he can handle, he loves to go first ball if he can. Viciato with the diving attempt at third base. That at least kept the ball in the infield and keeps Betancourt at first. If he gets by him, it surely would have been a double.
Chris Getz singled to right field back in the 2nd inning. Also stole a base. So the hitters with the most career hits against Zach, the top 2. Of course, we always begin in the house as Getz lays down a bunt. Konerko goes down to 2nd base. So the White Sox sniff that out, and it's an easy force out to get Betancourt.
Chris Getz was out here early this afternoon trying to drag bunt up that first baseline. They played baseballs down almost in a lane right through there. He really did it perfectly. Bunted a little bit hard. That gave Konerko an opportunity to get the lead man. Konerko made that same play here last night. Royals tried to advance the base runner. He charged in hard from first base. Got the lead man at 2nd there.
I'm going to begin with A.J. Pierzynski.
I'm going to say somebody in the Central Division. I mean, it has to be that.
0-1 to Posednik. He is lined to center and struck out.
How about Maurer?
Maurer would be a good one. How about Grady Sizemore?
Grady. Wouldn't be like a Placido Polanco from Detroit, would it?
Another good one.
Maglio. Maglio stayed in the Central Division. From Chicago to Detroit.
Line to left field. Getz will hold at second base. Royals with 5 hits against Peavy and 2 on in the 5th inning.
Sedney hits the ball hard a couple times here tonight. Line drive to center field to open the ball game. Caught looking on a breaking ball his last time up, but stayed with that sinking fastball away. Shot it into left field. Really tough to muster a big inning against a guy at the quality of Peavy and Greinke without the long ball.
Kendall trying to go the other way. Flied to left in the 1st inning and then lost a hit on a barehanded play by Omar Vizquel, charging in from shortstop. He is the best I've ever seen, and no one is even close in second. Vizquel fielding with his bare hand. He might. Runners go, and the throw to third is late. A double steal. Getz moving up to third, Posednik to second.
Well, Ned Yost probably thinks the same thing. It's hard to put together a lot of hits together against a guy where opponents are hitting less than 240. He's got a little bit of a high leg kick, so the release time is a little bit longer. Throw to the foul territory side at third base gives Getz an opportunity to be in with that head first slide. Now for a key base hit.
Lays off the slider outside, 1-2. Just going to say, when Joel showed us that Hall of Fame exhibit, going back to the beginning when they didn't use gloves in baseball, Vizquel would have been fine. He would have won a gold hand or whatever they gave away back then. Brzezinski wants an appeal. And Cheetah just shakes his head, which isn't very helpful to the people at the top of the upper deck on the left field side.
How about Jason in this situation on the year? Also having a good month of June with 17 RBIs already this month.
Flicks it off the right field line and off the wall, foul.
Kendall not looked to be a big RBI guy, but is a solid contact hitter. And with that infield back at the middle infield positions, that's a legit opportunity to drive one in here.
Well, couldn't make contact with that one. And with the pitch in, it was almost like an alligator arm swing from Kendall. And Peavy picks up his biggest strikeout of the night, his 4th.
Well, Peavy knows the kind of hitter that Jason is. He wants the ball up and out over the plate, outer half at all possible. So don't give him what he wants.
And now Billy Butler, who homered 422 feet to left center field in the 1st inning. Peavy got him on a fly ball to center in the 3rd. And it appeared that Peavy may have had a word or two for Billy after the fly out in the 3rd inning as Billy was going up the first base line. But then again, with Peavy, you don't know if it's directed at someone else or himself.
He has been animated here tonight.
2 balls and no strikes. This is the fly ball. Watch Peavy after Billy makes contact.
He is a bulldog.
Well, there are some pitchers who are animated on the mound, and they are known as a showman or a hot dog, and nobody says that about Jake Peavy. And now they're not going to mess with Billy Butler. They'll load the bases for Jose Guillen. So Peavy's 2nd walk, his 1st since the 1st inning. And a big opportunity for Jose Guillen. Jose singled to left in the 1st inning and grounded to 2nd in the 3rd. Really fooled by that slider. That was a fastball swing on a slider, and it's 0-1.
He throws a lot of fastballs. He's got to get velocity, so you have to look fastball first. The slider is late, quick breaking.
Didn't go after that slider. 1 ball, 1 strike. The single for Jose in the first inning was a rare base hit for him against Peavy. Now, there's a lot of hitters in the league who have had a tough time against Jake Peavy, and Jose is one of them. Just 2 out of 13 with 6 strikeouts, and he pops this one up. And the fans are going to give him a hard time because he didn't run it out. And the Royals leave the bases loaded in the 5th. At Thoroughbred Ford. Still tied at 1, both teams with 5 hits. The Royals just left the bases loaded in the bottom of the 5th inning. They had Jose Guillen up there, but he pops out to first against Jake Peavy. There will be some talk, if there isn't already, about a column at our website, foxsportskansascity.com, where Jose talks about, questions, criticizes the Royals' ability to perform the basic fundamentals in the game and his dissatisfaction with, at times, the way things are run. Fouled off of third base, and the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. So this might be, for him, a good time for the Royals to hit the road. Two and two on Juan Pierre, who is flied out to left field and grounded out to first.
Leave town for 10 days. You got the All-Star break. Everything will be all settled down by the time the club gets back. I guess that will raise some eyebrows on it.
If it hasn't already. I think there are a few eyebrows already set in the north position. Juan Pierre is 0 for 3 tonight. Sprint bringing you the first wireless 4G network from a national carrier. It's more than just a wireless network. It's a wireless revolution. Visit sprint.com/4G to learn more. But if you don't have time to go to the Sprint website, Split is quite an expert on 4G.
Absolutely. That was an interview that Joel did earlier this year that was so far over my head. That was a sprint night at the ballpark. Remember that?
Uh-huh. Royals won that game. Everyone wearing yellow.
Yeah. T-shirt Tuesday.
I can tell you that 4G is bigger than 3G.
All right. That's the first one, right?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Sprint's 4G?
I remember anyone. Yeah, Sprint's the first 4G. I don't remember anyone bragging about 1G or 2G. Did Vizquel go? He did. Tim Timmons is the umpire at third base. Zach strikes out his third.
Zach not backing down a bit. He's retired 5 straight. Good breaking ball right there. That might be another vote for the slider. Now, that's a pitch you really have to lay off of. I mean, so many of them out of the strike zone, but you read fastball, and it's hard to lay off of it, especially if you've already got the 2 strikes against you.
Two balls, no strikes. Let's answer tonight's trivia question brought to you by AT&T. Who are the 2 players with the most career base hits against Zach Greinke? We started with A.J. Pierzynski. I'll say Grady Sizemore. How about you?
I like that call right there. Got to think left-handed bat.
Scott Pasetnik. A curveball. That's Al Broughton, our associate producer's best pitch tonight. And the White Sox are down in order in the 6th. Wow. Showroom and an indoor firing range, cascading waterfalls, flowing streams, live ducks, giant aquariums, and an alligator make this a great place for the entire family. I gotta laugh every time I hear that. Go to visitmo.com to plan your next Missouri getaway. I mean, it is a great place for the entire family, don't get me wrong, but to sum it up, it has an alligator, which makes it a great place for the entire family. Just keep your hands out of the water, please. And as I was reading this split, I was thinking to myself, it sounds a lot like your house. 300,000 square feet with cascading waterfalls, flowing streams, and an indoor firing range.
Got all that. Never shot a gun in my life.
Really? No. Not only have I shot a gun, I've shot a gun at that indoor firing range at Bass Pro Shops in Springfield. Belted to right field. That's going to ride over Quinton and up against the fence. What else? Another extra base hit for Wilson Betemit.
He just hammers this ball, Ryan. is a slider down and in. That's been an effective pitch for Peavy all night long, but Bedmead turned on. You see how late he is getting out of the batter's box? This ball is off the wall before he got to first base. That's why he had to hustle and go with the head first dive to get the double. That ball wasn't hit anywhere near high enough to get out of here. That was a long throw for the right fielder, Quentin, to get it back in.
Very impressive dive, by the way, into second base. A strike to Alberto Callaspo. I mean, good form, hardly any splash. And got good numbers from all the judges. And now Callaspo into deep right center field. That will sail over Quinton's head, and the Royals will regain the lead. Alberto Callaspo follows Bedemead's double with a two-base hit, and the Royals lead 2-1.
So Alberto comes up with double number 19 on the year. This is fastball. Started inside, back it up out over the plate. That's the problem with that ball. If it does not freeze the hitter, if he bails out a little bit, he'll be able to turn on it and hit it hard. Bedemead scores. The Royals reclaim the lead.
Now, Mitch Meyer pulls it into the Royals dugout on the first base side, trying to get a ground ball to the right side and move Callaspo over to third. Meyer is 1 for 10 in his career against Peavy. He has struck out and grounded out tonight. And that's in the air to right field. That should be deep enough to get Callaspo to third. So Quinton makes the catch. Callaspo moves up, and the Royals have a runner at third base with one out. And the Royals crowd here tonight appreciates what Mitch Meyer does. Help send your favorite Royals to the 2010 All-Star Game by voting up to 25 times at Royals.com. And Sprint subscribers can now vote on select Sprint devices at MLB.com/Sprint. Cast your ballot now for the 2010 All-Stars. Vote often and vote early. Voting 25 times. That sounds like something they might do in Florida.
Stuff the ballot box. White Sox are going to pull the infield in tight all the way around against Betancourt. The first couple pitches of this at bat so important that he not get himself in trouble swinging something out of the zone. He's been a lot more patient this year. His batting average is up about 20 points over the 70 ball games that he's played so far here in 2010. Pretty much the same number he had last year. So batting average up, discipline better this year, but occasionally falls out of that. And he's got an opportunity to drive home a run.
Into center field, Rios gets behind it. Callaspo tags. Here comes Rios' throw. One hop. He is under the tag and scores on the Betancourt sac fly.
Rios has the strongest throwing arm of any of the White Sox outfielders. This kind of a sidearm slinging throw, and that ball has some tailing action to it, and that's probably the difference in the play. He does not throw straight over the top like most outfielders. Callaspo able to get that slide in, a little fadeaway thing, and is able to get by Przinsky in the tag. The ball just deep enough into center field.
Ball one to Chris Getz. So two doubles to begin the inning, and both Bedemead and Callaspo come around to score. Getz is singled, reached on a fielder's choice, and has 2 stolen bases tonight. 2 balls and no strikes. So pretty good fundamental baseball here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The doubles, and then the runner at second with nobody out. Over to third on Meyer's fly ball, and getting him home on Betancourt's fly ball. took a strike, and it's 2-2. And that's how we open the broadcast tonight, talking about get him on, get him over, get him in. And Peavy ends the inning with his 5th strikeout. But the Royals score 2 and have a 2-run lead.
Don't strand anybody.
Here are tonight's Honda highlights. Zach Greinke has given up 1 run, 5 hits in the first 6 innings. The Royals have turned 2 double plays behind him. Jake Peavy had allowed 1 run, 5 hits. Only run in those first 5 innings. A Billy Butler home run in the first. But then Wilson Betemit and Alberto Callaspo opened the 6th with back-to-back doubles. They scored. And as the sun sets on Kauffman Stadium, the Royals are in front by 2 runs. Zach will get Paul Konerko, Carlos Quinton, and Mark Kotze in the top of the 7th inning. Konerko is singled and flied out to right field. Curveball that didn't hit 70 miles an hour stays high.
Zach on a little bit of a roll right now. He's retired 6 straight, 7 out of the last 8. Faced a minimum through the first 3 innings tonight, so off to a good start. Pitching well in innings 5 and 6. He's got enough experience now that he knows how to protect the lead. Of course, he's had a lot of trouble getting run support this year, so when he gets one, you have to guard it as long as you can.
Center field for Mitch Meyer. 1 down in the 7th inning. Now, back when you played, there was, and of course there were a lot more complete games in those days, but there were certain pitchers that you would talk often about in a game like this. A duel with another pitcher, but then his team gives him a lead in the later innings, and that pitcher goes into a different gear. He grabs the game by the neck and finishes strong.
Catfish Hunter was one of those guys. He'd go along and have good stuff and be pitching well and get him in trouble. All of a sudden there'd be a couple more miles an hour on the fastball. Slider would be a little bit sharper. And if he got a lead late, he'd go with it. Steve Stone, a former Baltimore Oriole, Cy Young Award winner, he could do a little bit of that. He didn't throw nearly as hard as some of the others, but obviously effective. Also had some good years on the south side.
Zach is retired the last 7. It might be 8. This is a long throw for Betancourt, but right on the money to Billy Butler. So Carlos Quinton has grounded out for the 3rd time tonight. 2 down in the 7th inning. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefevre with Paul Splittorff and Joel Goldberg with producer Kevin Schenk, director Steve Kurtenbach, associate producer Sam Abramson and Al Broughton, and the producer of Royals Live is TJ McGinnis. Arcatse singled in the 5th inning, 1 for 2, and he pops it up. Betancourt is out. Pasednik doesn't see it, so Betancourt keeps going out, and that's it for the White Sox on 9 pitches against Zach in the 7th. Minnesota beats Detroit, so that's a game-and-a-half lead for the Twins over the Tigers. Seattle out in front of New York. The Royals will see the Mariners on this next road trip. Cleveland beats up on Toronto 3-1. That's 4 straight wins for the Indians. Oakland trying to hang in the West. They've won 4 in a row, but they're trailing Baltimore. Tampa Bay is trying to end Boston's 3-game losing streak. The Rays have lost 7 out of 10, and they're in 3rd place. And Texas will be at the Angels later tonight. Texas leads the Angels by 3.5 in the West. Our Chevy call to the bullpen brings in left-hander Randy Williams.
Williams comes on for the 27th time this year, a lofty earned run average. You see the 25 innings pitch. Well, he's had 57 base runners on against him if you add up the base hits and the walks allowed. So he's had a tough campaign so far.
Well, Pasednik with a slash into left center field and his 2nd hit of the night. So normally, he's just trying to ground it to short when he's running up and swinging. This time he gets a line drive over Vizquel. And now Ozzie Guillen comes out, so Randy Williams got 1 hitter. And after Pasednik gets away, it'll be Tony Pena, a right-hander, coming on to face Jason Kendall. Chevy call to the bullpen when we come back.
that Chicago bullpen now as they bring in right-hander Tony Pena. He comes on for the 27th time this year. The Royals have seen him a couple different times. 3 innings against Kansas City so far this year, but has been effective in relief. The .223 batting average against Pena. Primarily a 2-pitch guy, fastball and a slider.
The life of a situational reliever. Randy Williams spent the whole day getting ready for today's game and spent some time out in the bullpen warming up for the bottom of the 7th inning. He throws 1 pitch to Scott Pasednik, who singles, and he's out.
Was probably going to be out regardless of whether he got him out or not. Left-handed hitters due up for a bit. Got a couple switch hitters when you get into the middle lineup, so he was probably destined for one man only tonight anyhow. But you feel a whole lot better leaving if you got him out.
Pasednik and Chris Getz were part of a double steal in the 5th inning. And Scott getting his 23rd of the year. The Royals are 3 for 3 against A.J. Pierzynski, but those were just 2 plays. Kendall takes a strike. Jason, nothing out of 3. Struck out with runners at 2nd and 3rd in the 5th inning and 1 out. And Billy Butler was intentionally walked. And Jake Peavy got out of the 5th, getting Jose Guillen on a pop out to 1st. Kendall shoots it past Konerko and into right field. Pasednik goes 1st to 3rd easily. The Royals have runners at the corners with nobody out. Let's take a look at pitch tracks. And that last pitch brought to you by Quick Trip.
This is what Kendall wanted to do his last time up when he had a runner on at 3rd base in less than 2 outs and couldn't fight a pitch off inside, but this one he slashed by Konerko. Pasednik, no problem going 1st to 3rd on that last ball. Royals in business here in the 7th.
And here's Billy Butler, who hit a long home run against Jake Peavy in the bottom of the 1st inning. And he's after the first pitch and lines it to right, and that'll drop in front of Quinton. So Butler is driven in 2. Pasednik comes down from 3rd, and the Royals have a 4-1 lead.
Billy Butler's done some first ball hitting here tonight. Goes after the first ball in this at bat. Takes the breaking ball. That's the slider down the way. Pretty good offering from Pena right there, but Billy able to get it into right field. Pasednik kind of caught in between. He didn't know whether to come on in or go back and try to tag up. Didn't know if Quinton would be able to make that play, but it went drop down in front of him. Pasednik in from 3rd base.
Strike from Pena to Jose Guillen. Jose popped out with the bases loaded in his last at-bat. He is also grounded out in single tonight and hits with 2 on, nobody out. 2 perfect pitches from Pena. 96 miles an hour over the outside corner. Guillen is 0 for 2 against this pitcher. Pasednik is singled, Kendall is singled, Butler has singled. And the Royals have another 10-hit game. That's their 4th straight 10-hit game. And that gives them an average of at least 10 hits in their last 21 games. Did he go after the slider? No.
I agree. Kind of walked out in front of home plate, but he checked off in time.
Now, I like Tim Cheetah. He's from Minnesota, and he'd come out when we were playing at the University of Minnesota and would help out some of the college umpires. But, I mean, you can put your arms to your sides, can't you?
I thought you just liked him because he was from Minnesota. I think you need a little more than that.
Well, I know him personally, and he's a good guy.
He's a good umpire.
25 years in the big leagues. Went to the same high school in Minnesota, Cretin-Durham Hall, that Paul Molitor went to, Joe Mauer went to. But I just think about, now we have the cameras, the high-def cameras, but what about the fans in the upper deck? They want to see whether that's a swing or no swing. That's a bloop. And Tim Cheetah moves out of the way, so he isn't knocked over by Konerko. Jose Guillen broke his bat, and he's still down 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Benny could use the strikeout right here, but he's not a big-time punch-out pitcher. Capable of getting him.
Didn't get the call that time. Pena staying away with his fastball. That one at 97. Let's see where Picks Tracks has it.
Trying to work down and away. Good part of this year, a lot of people were trying to crowd Guillen, try to tie him up with the fastball in the hands.
Comes up and hits Pierzynski near the mask, stays in front of him, and the count goes from 0-2 to 3-2.
The center base runners here. You've got a lead. You can roll the dice a little bit more when you got a lead late in the ball game.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Not with Billy on first.
And Wilson Betemeat on deck. So if Guillen were to strike out, you'd still have 2 on for Betemeat. Runners are not going, and Guillen hits it high and deep into left field. Back goes Pierre. It is a 3-run home run. Jose Guillen had gone 20 games without a home run, and the Royals have scored 7 for Zach Greinke.
Hitters love that 3-2 pitch as they've been able to foul some balls off to see the entire repertoire. Pena primarily a 2-pitch guy, so you see everything he has early. And Guillen jumps all over that when he clears the White Sox pen and straight up left field. The Royals now up 7-1.
Left-hander Eric Threets comes on with nobody out. Billy Butler driving in a run with a single, and Jose Guillen a 3-run home run. And now left-hander Eric Threets is the third pitcher in the inning.
He'll make his first appearance with the White Sox. It's back in April of 2008. Just up from the minor leagues. Big left-hander. Was with him in spring training. Didn't make all that much of an impression that time, but well done here to try to get their club out of the 7th inning.
Wilson Bettamy moves over to the right side. He has another extra base hit tonight. His 5th double. That was leading off the 6th inning. He scored on Alberto Callaspo's double. Bettamy does also walk tonight.
Calling Jose Guillen's home run, 409 feet.
Broken bat. Konerko runs to the coach's box, and that is the first out of the inning. Royals scored in the bottom of the first on Billy Butler's home run. White Sox tied it in the 4th. And now 6 unanswered runs, 2 in the 6th, and 4 here in the 7th. Guillen's home run, the biggest hit of the game. So he makes up for popping out with the bases loaded in the 5th inning with a 3-run home run here in the 7th. And we talked about the Royals' lack of extra base hits lately. The Royals with a home run in the 1st, back-to-back doubles in the 6th, and a home run here in the 7th. So 4 of the 11 hits have gone for extra bases, and Kevin Seitzer has seen his boys going to double digits with hits again. Look at that play. How in the world did he do that? I don't think Eric Threets knows how he did that.
That's just taking a shot at it and hope it works out. Down low and behind you. And then the flip.
I mean, this is like the Harlem Globetrotters. Around the back, flip it, catch it, and then like a turtle on his back, somehow gets it over to first base.
And Joel's top 10 plays of the week. Does he have the visitors in there?
He does.
Does he?
Yeah. I mean, you have to do something extra special to make the top 10, but he will include the visitors. So even Royals fans here tonight appreciate that play.
How about Alberto? What do you think he thinks of it?
I think that's going to make a lot of teams' top 10 plays of the week. Through the right side, Mitch Meyer has his first hit. He's 1 for 4.
Okay, a lot of the left-handed guys have had good swings tonight. Even against Peavy early in the ballgame, the lefties have come out swinging the bats here tonight. And Mitch has done some first ball hitting. First hit that he's got to show for his effort tonight. A solid base hit to right field.
Betancourt to left field. Juan Pierre backs up. And the inning is over. The Royals come up with 4-3 on Jose Guillen's 14th home run of the year and his first in 20 games. And the Royals 4-run 7th. And now Zach Greinke has to pinch himself. He might think he's dreaming. He has a 6-run lead. Throws a strike to A.J. Pierzynski. Let's find Joe Goldberg.
Well, a good night here, Ryan, and a good night for the Royals AA affiliate Northwest Arkansas as the Naturals with a number of players in the Texas League All-Star game. They started 5 in the starting 9, including their DH. Derek Robinson 1 for 3. Mike Moustakas 2 for 3. Clint Robinson 1 for 3 with a homer. Johnny Giavitello 1 for 3. Paolo Orlando 1 for 1 with an RBI as A.J. Pierzynski with the hit there. Tim Smith came in off the bench 1 for 1. Chris McConnell came in off the bench 1 for 1. Mario Santiago pitched 1 1/3 scoreless. The talent looking very good in the minor leagues, and Northwest Arkansas represented very well. A game that the North All-Stars for Northwest Arkansas are beating or losing to the South All-Stars 5-4 in that game. But great night for the Naturals, guys.
Thanks, Joel. And 9 players from one team making the All-Star team.
Well, that's an 8-team league, and they do it 4 teams in the division, so that's a little bit, skewed, if you will. But when you've got that many, I figure 4 or 5, they'll probably give you a 20-man team. You'll be in pretty good shape. But to dial up 9 of them, those guys have had a heck of a first half.
Viciedo lines it into right field after the Pierzynski base hit. Viciedo has his first hit.
I'm calling Kirby Puckett on him. They brought him up. He's a young guy, 21 years old, and they brought him up because he absolutely attacks the fastball. And Kenny Williams, the general manager, wanted that and the veteran guys to see it because he didn't think they were attacking the fastball. And even though this guy's only 21 years old from Cuba, you mentioned that last night, he will get after the fastball. We liked his swing last night. He gets great leverage at the plate. And I think he looks a whole lot like Kirby Puckett.
I have not, but maybe the closest thing to that would be with the Royals this year when they went to the minor leagues to get someone who would attack the strike zone out of the bullpen in Blake Wood, and that was the beginning of the bullpen's turnaround. Robinson Tejeda will loosen up. Zach has thrown 92 pitches. And he gets Juan Pierre with the bases loaded, nobody out. This is Zach's 17th start. And it is only the 6th time out of 17 the Royals have scored 4 or more runs for him. Slapped up the left field line, and that drops in front of Posednik. The runners had to make sure he wasn't going to make the play, so they'll advance 1 station, and it is 7-2. First hit of the night for Juan Pierre.
Zach going a pitch on the outer part of the plate, tailing action on the fastball at 95 miles an hour. Pierre just stays with it, flips it up the left field line. Posednik already playing shallow and towards the line, but can't quite get there. This ball is fair by just inches. Everybody moves up 90 feet. And now you're getting dangerously close to the heart of that order. Long way to go in this inning.
Well, this is a break for the Royals, perhaps. Brent Lillibridge is going to hit for Omar Vizquel. And Vizquel was 1 for 3 with a triple tonight. And 4 out of 12 against Zach Greinke. And one of those hits was a home run, but there's a liner into left center field. And that should clear the bases. Lillibridge is headed for third base. So the Royals scored 4 runs before the White Sox could get an out in the top of the 7th inning. And now the White Sox have scored 4 runs in the top of the 8th before the Royals can record an out.
And they've done it on 9 pitches from Greinke. Talk about hitting early in the count. Zach wants to get ahead with the fastball. Lillibridge just waiting on it. Royals are shaded towards right center field on this guy. Ball goes just to the left, just straight up center field. Mitch has a long run to run it down all the way to the wall. And look at the boys flying around the bases. Cox waving everybody home. Lillibridge into third.
Well, Bob McClure doesn't normally go out with the hook. He's out there to talk to Zach as Tejeda continues to warm up in the bullpen. And Zach will get Alex Rios with a runner at third base and nobody out. Rios drove in the first run for Chicago in the fourth inning with a single and is 1 for 3. So Brent Lillibridge hitting for Omar Vizquel as a 3-run triple after Vizquel tripled and scored back in the fourth inning. Grounded to third, and Betamit will play it to first base. All of a sudden, it's a 1-run game. So Rios drives in his second of the game. And as the Royals record their first out of the inning, the White Sox score their 5th run. Now Paul Konerko, 1 for 3. Slider in for strike 1.
Konerko seeing a lot of breaking balls from Greinke here tonight. Seen the curveball and the slider. Seems like every fastball he's seen tonight has been in on the hands.
1 ball, 1 strike. This happens so fast that you kind of have to reset the hard drive here and go from Zach having a terrific outing, allowing 1 run in 7 innings, to now he's given up 6 runs tonight. And 6 earned runs ties for the second most he has allowed this season. He gave up 7 earned runs to Colorado on May the 23rd. And he gave up 6 earned runs at Minnesota back on June the 8th. And now Konerko's ahead in the count, 3 balls and 1 strike. And I'm assuming, Split, that there are times when something like this happens so fast that as a pitcher, you can't even explain it.
Yeah, you really can't. Look back to the last half inning, how quickly it happened to the White Sox bullpen. As soon as Jake Petey got out of the game, all of a sudden the bats came alive. Right now, you're just hoping Zach can get out of the 8th inning and get this ball game in the hands of Soria.
Konerko is tied for the league lead with 20 home runs. Pops him up, and Getz is there for the second out.
One time Zach was in trouble here tonight was in inning number 4. And that happened quickly. 3 consecutive base hits. Gave up a run, but got double play to get out of that inning. No more trouble to here in the 8th.
Carlos Quinton drives it to right field. Jose Guillen back towards the track, and he makes the catch. The White Sox turn the game around, and it's a 1-run game to the bottom of the 8th.
rivals. Nice crowd out there, and we'll talk about that Royals offense tonight. Finally getting some extra base hits and some power. We'll break down Zach Greinke's night, which had been very good for the first 6 or 7 innings, and then suddenly things falling apart in the 8th, and we'll be ready for a big finish to this one. Reaction from the clubhouse and much more coming up with Jeff Montgomery on Boulevard Royals Live. Guys.
Thank you, Joel. Brent Lillibridge, who delivered a 3-run triple in the White Sox 5-run 8th, will stay in at shortstop. And Scott Linebrink becomes the 5th Sox pitcher tonight.
Comes on for the 24th time this year. Not necessarily an overpowering guy, but a good sinking fastball. That's the best pitch that he'll go out there with is a split finger pitch that has a lot of diving action. Slider's pretty quick. Veteran right-hander on the pitch the bottom of the 8th inning.
Ties up Chris Getz. No balls, 2 strikes. Getz has 2 stolen bases tonight and a second inning single. Scott Posednik after him, and then Jason Kendall. And it appeared the Royals were going to run away with this one tonight after getting 4 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Zach Greinke was cruising along. And before Zach could enjoy his 6-run cushion, the White Sox, in a flash, scored 5 in the top of the 8th. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So the count goes from 0-2 to 3-2. Jake Peavy goes 6 innings, gives up 3 runs. Randy Williams gave up a run. Tony Pena 3 runs. They didn't record a single out. And Eric Threets pitches a scoreless inning. Linebrink using his glove as a shield. Keeps the ball off of his body, but he can't keep Chris Getz off of first base.
Well, I think this got all glove. He's already waved off the trainer, said he doesn't need him, but fortunately for Linebrink, this ball hit to his glove side, not directly on him, or he'd be hurting right now. Not a lot of reaction time right there. No, it hit his wrist. Didn't get his glove. Fortunately for him, it was his glove side, though, not the throwing hand. He's a former teammate that got after it.
Linebrink will have something to say about that when the Royals are in Chicago next week. Posednik lays down a bunt. That'll get Getz to second, and it almost got Scott to first. Linebrink throws him out, and the Royals trying to add some insurance. They have Getz at second base with 1 away.
Ed Yost has told us he doesn't like to use the bunt unless it's late in the ball game to get a key run in. Tells you how he feels about this setup here tonight. The Royals could use some insurance with the heart of the order due up. Gets on second base. The bunt's down, and it's a beauty. They play it first, and that was awful close there.
Jason Kendall is 1 for 4. He was in the middle of the Royals' 4-run 7th with a single and a run scored. 13 hits for the Royals tonight, and a 1-run lead in the bottom of the 8th. 4 runs were scored in the first 6 innings, and now 9 runs have scored in the last 2 innings. Inside to Kendall, 1-1. Joakim Soria is warmed up and ready to go. It'll be Kotze, Pierzynski, and Viciedo coming up in the top of the 9th. So Getz at second base, and Kendall at the plate with outstanding numbers against Linebrink. He is 7 out of 12, and that figures out to .583. Right field. Getz will tag, and Quinton makes the catch. Quinton will heave it to third base, but the throw is cut off. So runner at third with 2 down. Royals have a day off tomorrow. They'll travel to the West Coast and begin a 9-game road trip in Anaheim. Kyle Davies against Joe Saunders on Friday. Ivy Royals Live begins at 8:30 Central Time, and the first pitch is at 9:05. 3 games against the Angels, 3 games against the Mariners, and then 3 more against Chicago leading up to the All-Star break. Good night so far for Billy Butler. A home run, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored, and he's been on base with a walk.
Ryan, this is his 30th multiple hit game of the year already.
'98 hits for Billy. Gets singled, was bunted to second, and went to third on the fly ball from Kendall. 2-1. Three balls and 1 strike. Linebrink, a former 2nd-round pick of the Giants back in '97, out of Southwest Texas State. And he walks Billy Butler, so the White Sox would rather pitch to Jose Guillen. But the last time Guillen came to the plate, he capped the Royals' 4-run 7th inning with a 3-run home run. And then motion towards the White Sox dugout. Looked like he may have done it more than once. He first looked to the dugout as he was coming down the third base line, and then appeared to do it again after he crossed home plate.
We don't think Ozzie Guillen was on him tonight, do we?
Well, he was doing the fingertips across the lips, the universal zip it sign. So somebody was riding him in the third base dugout. And Jose answered with a 3-run home run. Jose was saying before the game tonight that he felt like he was going to start hitting for power again. He's been bothered by blisters on his feet, which hasn't allowed him to really plant in the batter's box and use his legs. And you remember during his hitting streak of 21 games, which ended on Monday, he had 31 hits during the 21-game hitting streak, and 27 were singles. And he was calling himself a slap hitter. And as predicted, he has hit for power tonight with a 3-run home run. 2 balls and 2 strikes against Linebrink. And boy, did the Royals need that 3-run home run, with Chicago coming up with 5 in the top of the 8th.
Jose's bat does look a little bit quicker tonight. Doing a better job of getting to the fastball.
Struck him out this time, so Jose strands 2, and the Royals, trying to win the series, have Soria coming on for the 9th.
San Jose
Royals by 1 to the top of the 9th inning. Let's take a look at tonight's Chevy play of the game. I don't think you'll see another one like this all season.
Got to be able to defend your position. Maybe not the textbook way to do it, but pretty effective right there.
First pitch to Mark Kotze is launched to deep right field. Back goes Jose Guillen, and he made the play. Slamming into the wall, falling down on the warning track. And just now, the second base umpire, Jeff Nelson, signals out. He ran way out into right field. Everyone was waiting on it. Kotze continued to run the bases. And at least for one batter, the Royals survive a scare.
This did not look good when the ball left the bat. Guillen, the ball, and the wall all arrived at the same time. Maybe that is our play of the night.
It certainly was a more valuable play. David Jesus saying, I'm glad that wasn't me slamming into the wall. David getting the night off. So 1 out. One very loud long out. And now it's 0-2 on A.J. Pierzynski, who continues to wear out Zach Greinke. He had 2 hits tonight. Soria going for his 20th save. And he saved the game on Monday, which was anything but a breeze for him. He had to pitch out of a bases loaded and 1 out in a 2-run game and got out of it.
That was a 24-pitch 9th inning for him. This is the 3rd time he's worked on the homestand. Save number 18 came on Friday night against St. Louis.
Pierzynski hits a routine fly ball to Guillen. 2 down in the 9th inning. And now everyone stands up, cheering home Soria and the Royals, trying to take 2 out of 3 from the White Sox and finish with a winning homestand against who is now the first place team in the National League Central, the Cardinals, and what was the hottest team in the American League when the White Sox arrived in Kansas City. Viciedo rolls it to Betancourt, and the Royals take 2 out of 3 from Chicago. At one point, the Royals had a 7-1 lead, and the White Sox made things interesting with 5 runs in the top of the 8th inning.